Hey friends, we had some video earlier that we shot of the bacon, I call them bacon seeds, the pigs out in the backyard, or out back of the backyard, they're out by our cattle pens. And lots of people have asked me about raising pigs or having pork or even beef butchered, or having your own butchered versus buying at the store. And so I wanted to real quickly go through. We just had a pig processed, and we've always done this for lots of years. There's a family that we know that their kids all raise show pigs, and I don't know what we're going to do when their kids all graduate. I guess we're going to raise our own back here all the time. But for years, we've done one pig a year, bought one of their show pigs and had it processed. And so we got that pig, a month ago, probably. And that pig, I've got the actual processing order from that pig. And so I just wanted to tell you how it comes out and why we do it. And we actually had beefs go to the processor yesterday. So we're gonna have beef and a half coming back from the processor here in several weeks. And so the only thing it requires is freezer space. You've got to have a deep freeze, a couple of deep freezes. We keep them in the basement. The basement stays pretty cool, so they don't run as often down there, and so it does not impact our electric bill like you would think. But this particular pig, and I'm gonna have to look at some of these numbers here but as we go, but this particular pig weighed 300 pounds going to the processor, and processors charge all kinds of fees. There's a kill fee, there's a fee for processing how much he weighs when he's hanging, and there's a fee for like sausage, there's a cure fee for hams and bacons, and there's a fee if you have them wrap or double wrap, how you like your meat wrapped, if you like it individually. And so I'll tell you how we do it and the cost, and then you can decide for yourself whether it's something you want to look into. But this pig weighed 300 pounds. After he's dispatched, and don't want to freak anybody out, but we're processing meat here. That's where our pigs come from. That's where your meat comes from on the table. Even when you go to the restaurant, it's all coming from the same place. So after the pig is killed, dispatched, they gut him, take his insides out, and skin the hog. So this is the hanging weight. So this would be the carcass or the meat to be processed hanging, and that the head's still on, the hooves, the skin, and the insides are gone. And that weighed 184 pounds. About any animal you have processed, you can figure 65 to 67% of what he weighs standing is what his hanging weight will be. Now that varies with animals, and it varies with how they're fed, and there's all kinds of different variables, but a rough number is what does it weigh on foot or on hoof is, and your hanging weight, or how much meat you're going to get. And that's not totally true either, but you're going to get 67-ish percent. So his hanging weight was 184 pounds. That's what I paid my processing fee on, was 184 pounds. We got 28 pounds of hams, 25 pounds of loin chops and roasts and baby back ribs and center cut chops, all the good cuts. We had 23 pounds of bacon. We had 22 pounds of picnic roasts. Those are the ones we like to smoke and pull for pulled pork. 6 pounds of spare ribs, and about 40 pounds of sausage. I don't have them give us the pig's feet or the head or the jowls or the back fat or any of that. I'll have all that put to sausage. So we get 40 pounds of sausage out of that deal. And so if you look at a hog today, and I know today's meat prices are off the chart, but if you look at a hog today, average price of all the cuts, and some cuts are $8 and some of them are clear up to $14, that's insanity for pork. But the average price of all cuts today is about $9. And so if I look at this, his hanging weight was 184 pounds. We got actually 144 pounds of actual meat that we brought home and put in the freezer. Well, what's the difference there? Bones. A lot of the bones, they debone him, they take them out, and there's some other gristle and fat and things that you don't bring home. You don't want to eat that. So we, out of a 300-pound pig, we brought home just less than half of that in actual meat. And that's another rule of thumb for most animals, deer, goat, pig, beef. You're going to bring home just a hair less, usually just a hair less than half, depending on the cuts and how you have it cut and processed and what you like. So if today's average price of pork is $9 a pound, which again, that's insanity, that's $1,296 worth of meat, or that's $1,300 worth of meat. And so I bought the pig from the student that was showing the pig for $100. He weighed 300 pounds. I bought him for $100. I bought him 30 cents a pound. Typically, animals cost way less standing on the hoof than processed. So, and I know hogs maybe have gone up, say, 40 cents or 45 cents or something. So, I could have possibly given them, $150, but I gave $100 for that hog. I paid $253 in processing. So my processing was $253 on a 184-pound hanging weight, or to bring home 144 pounds of meat. So I spent $353 to get 144 pounds of meat. So I spent just slightly over $2 a pound, $2.20 a pound, $2.10 a pound for my pig. Today's price to buy all that meat at the store, $1,296, basically $1,300. Some of y'all asked about the bacon seeds. Well, they are back here getting the spa treatment. They eat all they want all day long. They get the sprinkler about an hour a day into their own private pools and mud holes under the shade trees back here in the breeze. So you talk about a rough life. They got it rough, don't you? Yeah, all you want to eat, all you want to drink, mud baths and swimming pools. So the bacon seeds are doing well. They got the rough life back here. You can see why we process a hog every year, and we also process or have processed a beef every year this way. Now, you run out of sausage, or like we always run out of a pig. One pig a year doesn't feed our household. So that's why we're raising some extra in the back. If you went to an old market price, like an old cheap pork price from a couple years ago of $4 an average cut, that's pretty cheap, but that's still $576 worth of meat, and we paid $353. So for eternity, having a pig processed, if you buy a show pig from a kid that's showing their hog and you buy him on the hoof and just take him straight to the processor, we know this family that we don't even see the pig. They just load up the kids' show pigs and drop them off at the processor for us. So literally there's no muss, no fuss. The processor calls several weeks later and says your pig's ready, and you come get it in insulated sacks and bring it and put it in your freezer. So that's the numbers on a pig, and I'll be bringing you some numbers when we get our beef. A pig takes about 2 to 4 weeks to process, more closer to the 4, because they have to cure the bacon and the hams. We order our hams sliced 3/8 inch thick, all of them, and individually pack the slices. So we have these huge vacuum sealed packages of 3/8 inch. We call them breakfast hams, but you can put them in a skillet and brown them off, or do whatever you want, but they're cured. Ham. So we get our ham that way. Our sausage is in 1 or 2 pound packages. Everything else is vac packed in plastic and keeps in the freezer for several years if you need to. And you can order. You typically, your processor, they make a card for you, and you tell them how you like your ham, and do you like your sausage spicy, and do you want your bacon to have extra cure on it, or do you like your bacon cut thick or thin? And they write all this down, and then every time you bring a pig, they just pull your card and process the animal the way you like it. And same with beef. You put in your orders, I want the spare ribs, or if you don't want the spare ribs, they'll clean them up and make it into hamburger. So you say, I want these cuts, I want my steaks this thick, I want this, I want that, and what you don't want, or you could say, then I want everything else to hamburger. And then you can even say, I want my hamburger to all be 96% lean, or 92, or you can order up how much fat's in your hamburger. And they, same deal, the kill facility will keep a card for you, and that's how you do it. I will say, with the beef prices getting, and all the meat prices getting to what they are today, a kill date is something that you have to go get. You have to call ahead and say, I'm going to be bringing pigs on, and they're going to be ready sometime in September. What kill dates do you have? And he gives you the day that they're killing pigs that day. And you ask for an appointment, and you get it, and then you deliver your hog on that day. Same with your beef or your other animals. There's a lot of people doing this now. They've figured out that, hey, this is cheaper. And that's, we're going to have more butchers and kill facilities in the local communities. Now, I've mentioned that in other videos. But you do need to get your kill date set, so that then you feed your animal, targeting it for that kill date, your rations, and you get your feed rates right to get that animal to the weight you want it for that kill date. I think that's most of the considerations. Here's why we do it. A show pig, or a pig we've raised, we know what they've eaten. We know that they've not had a bunch of antibiotics shot in them. They've not had a bunch of medicines or hormones or anything else put in them. We know the feed that went in them. We know the care that they had. We know on a beef, what their diet was, what their rations were. We know everything about that animal that we're putting in our mouth. And it's healthier. That beef is better for you. It lived a better life. And it's tastier. The other thing is, when you, on a beef especially, you can have the facility hang it or age it for several weeks. They don't like to go past a certain number of weeks, but you can kind of sweet talk them into going a little farther if you want to. Aged beef, or hung beef, that's hung on the rack for a period of time, the longer it ages, the better flavor that beef gets. It gets a butterier taste, nuttier taste, but it's a little wasteful because there's more waste that they have to cut off before they start cutting your beef. So there's a trade-off there for hanging longer or curing longer and getting as much meat, but you're also getting more tender meat and more flavorful meat if you age it. So some facilities will age a few weeks, some will go 6 weeks. You get much past 6, you're losing a lot of beef though. So anyway, that's why we do what we do. That's how we do it. When we get our beef, I'll bring this same cut sheet and tell you the weights and the prices and all that. Hopefully this helps some of you all. Find a hog, raise a hog. Raising hogs is easy. There's nothing to it. You just need a place to do it. But anyway, I hope you find that helpful. Again, we hope you're enjoying these videos, and hope that's educational, or some of y'all learned something out of that. Hit like, subscribe, tell somebody about it, tell somebody about the video and how to raise a hog, or what goes into getting your hog or your beef processed. And we'll catch you on another video down the road.